One more step, and your brains will be about as useful as gator bait.
The continent welcomes us with such hospitality, doesn't it?
Beg pardon, my good man. Is the bank closed for some time?
As long as it takes Mr. Blackman to come back from Baton Rouge with more dollars.
You were robbed?
Not hardly. We had a jewel sale.
When might one expect Mr. Blackman to return?
He likely could come back most any day, but he'll be gone 3 days at the least.
Is there anyone else who could shed some light on this transaction? You see, we have come from Europe and are interested in a particular set of precious stones. It may well prove to be this same set your bank sold recently.
I ain't talking, and I don't know nothing about it anyhow. There is one feller, goes by the name of Champagne. He's Cajun. He knows everything that goes on around these parts. You can most likely find him near a pile of planks at the end of the pier.
Everything has its price in America, isn't that what they say?
With open arms, Watson?
Napoleon, Lafayette. Don't mind the dogs, they just don't take to the smell of gentle folks, especially foreign ones. So what can old Champagne do for you? How's about some planks for your boat, or maybe a ride in Gator's Bath?
Some other time, perhaps. People say that you know everything that occurs in this area.
Maybe so. Don't care much what them people say. What you want to know?
We are particularly interested in a recent transaction in precious stones. No doubt you are familiar with these events.
For sure that's true. Now that you say it, I reckon I heard of some swap for jewels. I would help you out, but my poor brain's like the train with no coal. What you want me to do? Now there's a bottle of some champagne or this and that. Old Champagne'll have a thing or two to say to you. Speaking of that, it come to me true. It was a week ago, maybe two. A butler working for a rich man made himself a jewel trade to Honor and Co. Looks like business to be done fast and with a quiet way. By my foot, the truth is here now.
The name of the employer of this silent partner?
He go by the name Honestson. He from far up the bayou to the east. He got some crazy notions, hadn't? They must be all like that where he come from.
No doubt. One other matter. During the last few days, have you noticed any strange ship movements, especially regarding those taking leave of port late at night?
You did right by old Champagne, so I tell you true. 5 days ago, a ship, she weighed anchor in the middle of the night. She took sail right after a mess of folks brought a lot of boats to meet her and charged on board. These all came from the swamps, could be toting contraband. Anyway, left for the old world for sure. Old Champagne keeps to his own self. No reason to know nothing more. And advice to you, stay clear. Those that sticks their nose where it don't belong end up feeding the gators round these parts.
We shall consider ourselves duly warned. Good day.
And if you wants to go for a ride in the bayou or something else, old Champagne treats you right. I take dollars, bottles of you know what, right?
Holmes, our bag! Thief! Stop! Thief!
Stop! There he is. He's there! Stop!
Stop right there, you two. Not a move.
But the thief, he is going to...
Thief? What thief? All I see are two foreigners tearing up my wharf, making a lot of noise. I expect you have some sort of papers proving who you are and what business you have in my parish. I assume you have proof you're here legally.
What? Of course we have papers in our bag. But that villain, he... Well, upon my word, you allowed him to make off with our bag.
What are you insinuating, sir? Are you trying to offend me?
Gentlemen, look here. Calm down, Watson.
But can't you see that...
Watson? So you are Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Please, spare us the pretense. You know very well who we are.
And a clever fella in the bargain. Listen to me and listen up good, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson. You will leave tomorrow morning for Europe on the same ship that brought you here. No need to offload your bags. Just turn around and get back on board. Nothing good will come your way if you ignore my advice. Oh, and one more thing. Without proper papers, you're nothing more than outlaws here in New Orleans. And outlaws end up as gator bait in my parish.
With open arms, was it, Watson?
Holmes, enough.
It seems they were warned of our arrival and waiting for us. Let's find the wealthy side of the city and the house of this Anderson. Come, Watson, time is not our friend. Watson, let's pay a visit to this Anderson. Ah, Watson, it seems we have arrived at the place. Look there, on the iron door.
Looks like no one is here, Holmes.
It's a pity, Watson. This is our only lead. Good morning, miss. Please don't be alarmed. We won't harm you, my dear. What is your name?
Eula, sir.
Lovely. When we arrived here, you were looking through this gate. This is the residence of Mr. Arnson, isn't it? Do you know him?
Yes, sir.
Do you know if he is at home?
Don't rightly know, sir.
Watson.
Come now, don't distress yourself like this. Why all these tears?
Because of my little brother, Davy. He serves with Mr. Arneson, and been more than 5 days since I heard from him.
Perhaps he went on a trip with Mr. Arnson.
No, sir. Tain't likely. I serves at the Gallagher's just the other side of the road. If they had left, I would have seen them. Something bad has happened. I can feel it.
But if you were so near, surely your brother would have cried out for help if there had been any real danger.
No, sir. Davy, he ain't like you and me. He's right smart in some ways. But Davy can't talk. Not a word. Besides, most evenings, we visits and sees each other across the stable door. It been more than 5 days since he been there. Oh, sir. I be mighty scared. Something has happened to him. I just knows it.
Miss, take us to this stable. Watson, I think this place is indeed isolated, and therefore quite vulnerable.
There it be. I'm gonna go wait on the road. That way, if my mistress calls for me, I can hear.
Bravo, Holmes! Holmes, this horse is dying of thirst. Poor animal.
He has had no water for these past 5 days, Watson.
Unbearable.
This should prove useful. I hope this gate is not locked, because it appears quite formidable. Open! Observe, Watson, these beautiful, well-tended flowers. Someone must care for them.
Look, Holmes, a raccoon. Come here, you little rascal.
They won't allow us too close, Watson, though the little imps are rather inquisitive by nature. Water. This should prove useful. This should prove useful. This should prove useful. This should prove useful.
What a wretched smell, Holmes.
Quite wretched, Watson. It is the foul stench of death. Watson, hold the basin. I think you know what to do with it.
Easy now, fellow. Drink up. What could this be doing here?
Here you are, Watson. Ah, it's a ham. What a delectable aroma. If only I were hungry. Closed tight. Blood. Watson, what do you make of this?
What a horrific sight! It has lain here for at least a week.
On the contrary, Watson, once again you see but fail to observe. The warmth of the local climate and the exceptional humidity undoubtedly sped up the rate of decomposition. Based upon my calculations, the body has been here for 5 days. Let's examine the hands. They are calloused, with traces of dirt under the nails. This would be the gardener, no doubt. Blood! Blood! Interesting. The person who sat here was fond of cigars. Interesting. The blood! Papers were burned, and great care was taken to destroy everything of any value to our case. We will find nothing further in this place. This must be Arnson. He appears fond of cigars. Champagne. Maybe this will satisfy that old man of the same name. This blood on the ground came from a deep wound. I cannot budge the handle. They must have lodged something behind it to hold fast the door. Shh, Watson, listen. Whoever you are, open up. We mean you no harm. Open the door for God's sake. It's a matter of life or death.
This is useless, Holmes.
Watson, your sensibility is appreciated. We shall come back later. These clothes belong to a servant, and judging from their size, he is a small man. Yes, there is something here. A stone of small size, but of splendid color. It seems to have no flaws, and I doubt that it originated in the American continent. Arnson, with his servant, no doubt. These clothes belong to a servant. What's this? Someone placed their hand near this footstep. Judging by the size of the fingers, it seems to be a youth. Why would they lean down here? Of course, to pick something up. This book has been read often. Tales of Fantastic Hunts by D. Niles. This metal tube is approximately 40 centimeters in length and 18 in diameter. It bears a small tag which reads, "This one without defect. My sincere apologies, E. Otis."
What the devil are you doing, Holmes?
A newspaper from 5 days ago. Someone has torn the last page. Well, it seems Arnson tried his hand at a small riddle in this newspaper. How strange. He does not seem the type to take interest in mathematical conundrums. This should prove useful. Another footstep. The hunt is on, Watson. Some footsteps or marks. Not clear enough to make out. Let's see if there are others. Blood. However, given the small amount, the wound should be superficial. Wait, this is interesting. There is a trace of mud here.
Holmes, there are thousands of these mosquitoes.
We must turn back, Watson, or we shall be devoured. Footsteps. Let's see. Watson, regard the traces in the soil. A body was dragged here recently. Undoubtedly, it was a man of great size. More traces of mud. A person wearing shoes thick with fresh mud entered the garden by this gate. They entered the house and then returned, dragging a body back along the way. This erased some signs of their former movements, but not entirely. Fortunately, I have a particular talent for tracing footsteps, a neglected art indeed.
Holmes, there are thousands of these mosquitoes.
We must turn back, Watson, or we shall be devoured.
Here!
Very interesting. Nothing can stop an inventive and logical mind. Bah, it's only an air pistol. I would be hard-pressed to shoot a nestling from a branch with this weapon. Besides, it's not even loaded. Closed tight. Watson, that's shouting. Something is happening.
This must have come from the stables, Holmes.
They've bolted the door. There's no time for anything else. We must force it open. Quickly, Watson. We must find something to serve as a battering ram.
We must act quickly, Holmes. This must have come from the stables, Holmes.
Watson, this can serve as a ram to take down the door. They've bolted the door.
We must act quickly, Holmes.
Watson, tend to her.
Holmes, hold on. There is a message pinned to this unhappy woman. Holmes, she is still in shock. I must stay with her.
Closed tight. closed tight. A lovely piece. I must say it's the highlight of this exhibition, but I dare say it shall prove useful. Ingenious. Standing on the stone activates some mechanism. Surely there is something behind this fresco. This hole must be part of some mechanism. Yes, there is something here. Yes, there is something here. Strange drawing. It says, only the best gunmen earn the finest arms. It will be necessary to get a shot in that hole while standing on the flagstone that starts the mechanism. But the pistol is not loaded. It will be necessary to find another way, and I must do this alone, as Watson must remain with this poor young woman. Nothing can stop an inventive and logical mind. This picture is sinister. Very interesting. How dreary, the swamp. We must hold fast, as it is imperative that we go there tonight. Everything in good time. First, I must find Watson. This should prove useful. It is possible to take down an elephant with one shot using these weapons. Unfortunately, the metal grid is too solid to break through. Perhaps it is time to take care of this young man. Everything in good time. First, I must find Watson. Watson, read this. It sheds light on a dark and sinister enterprise.
Arneson was in contact with the Northwood Agency. He wanted to inform them about the activities of Ashmat, but why?
Because his servant was secretly selling the same stolen jewelry sought by this agency. How is she, Watson?
It will be difficult for her to speak for some time. She had a narrow escape.
Can she walk?
Yes, but why?
Come with me. Your brother is behind this door, miss. He is wounded, but only superficially. It is extremely urgent that he opens this door. Can you call to him? Perhaps it will draw him out.
David. David.
Young man, I know that you can hear and understand me. We are here at the request of your sister, who is with us now. She is very worried about you, and rightly so. The man with me is a doctor. He is going to look at your wound and ease your suffering. Please come out. Everything will be all right.
Open the door, Davy. These gentlemen talk true. Come on now. Open up the door for Eula.
Miss, you should go and get some food for your brother. He must be very hungry. Have you finished, Watson?
Well, yes.
Very well. Please understand, my young lad, and you too, Miss Eula. We are here to solve an affair that risks many people's lives. Furthermore, we have very short time to save them. As for you, young man, you know some very important things. You must tell us everything and leave nothing out.
But what are you?
Listen to me, I will tell you a story. Davy, 5 days ago, at night, you were woken up by noises from the dining room. First, you heard the voice of the gardener, and then a loud blow to the floor. You got up and took the candle, which was lit. Then you went to the dining room. On your way, you found something on the floor and picked it up. It was likely a piece of paper. Afterwards, you went to the door of the dining room and saw the dead body of Colin the gardener soaking in a pool of blood. You also saw Ashmat, the other servant, dragging Mr. Arnson, who seemed dead, towards the door. Ashmat saw you, struck at you with his knife, and caught you in the arm. Seeing that this blow had not killed you, he raised his knife to strike again and eliminate the only witness to his heinous crime. But something stayed his hand. The item you picked up was far more important. He paused to snatch it up, giving you time to run away and barricade yourself in your room.
But if you were there, why didn't you do anything?
Mr. Holmes was not there, miss. But if he tells you that things have happened in such a way, you should believe him without any doubt.
Then you are a kind of hoodoo man.
In some way.
David, do this man tell it true? Is this what happened? The good man saved us both. Do what he tells you, Davy.
Listen to your sister, young man. Now, Davy, can you recall what was on that piece of paper? Think hard now. Watson, your notebook. Be attentive to everything he draws and copy it down exactly.
Holmes, can we trust these figures and make sense of them? I mean to say, consider this boy's affliction.
Ah, this boy. A strange one, isn't he? Watson, let's escort him and his sister to her employer.
This be the Gallagher's place. Thanks, misters.
Miss Eula, we should be thanking you. Now, take good care of your brother. Watson, we must move quickly. The enemy is close at hand, and there's another place we've yet to examine. Nice lemons. Nice lemons. Yes, Watson, we must pass this way. Before we venture further, we must find some protection from this merciless insect horde. Wait for me here. should prove useful. Watson, cover yourself with lemon juice. It will protect you from the mosquito stings.
Do you know any similar trick to avoid the sting of bullets? We likely need it soon.
There are signs of a struggle here. Perhaps Arnson regained his senses and fought back. Blood, and in large quantities. This bush has been stripped of its lower leaves and slightly uprooted. Someone grabbed hold of the brambles and refused to let go. His adversary, unable to get him down due to the man's tight grasp, must have cut off his hand. I would say his right.
What a horror!
Rather, and quite determined. A boat was waiting here. Watson, it seems everything leads to the swamp. How can we get there? The enemy is close at hand, and there's another place we've yet to examine. Watson, we must move quickly. The enemy... Be very close. Perhaps she has some information. Watson, we must move quickly. The enemy is close at hand, and there's another place we've yet to examine.